I started a road to the show with power-hitting first baseman Randy Trout, and I'm trying to get him up to 99 overall at 25 years old. Things have been going great for Trout ever since getting drafted in the 3rd round by the Reds, as they took a big chance on a player who could only hit for power, but that risk has paid off. Trout dominated the minors, earning a very fast call-up to the majors at the All-Star break of his first year, and he quickly became the Reds' starting first baseman. He was entering his first full season with very high expectations, and despite only upgrading his power rating, Randy was able to make his first All-Star game and finish with a respectable 37 home runs and 122 RBIs. Additionally, he also won his first major award, taking home a Silver Slugger, but he wanted more than that in year 3. This is where Randy's game really evolved, as he not only made another All-Star game, but led the MVP race for most of the year. He broke several records, putting up one of the best offensive seasons in MLB history. Randy Trout is 84 overall, and I would not be surprised if that went up to 99 with another good season. But before the start of our next season, we have to select some goals, and after how we played last year, a lot of these are not going to be very achievable. Hitting 450 with 70 home runs seems a little bit out of reach, but after breaking several records, it makes sense that they want us to break more. Reaching 99 overall might be the primary goal this season, but another storyline is Randy Trout's future with the Reds. We got embarrassed in the playoffs last year, so Trout might not want to stick around. While he does want to be loyal to the team that drafted him, winning a ring should also be a high priority. His first hit of the season is a single, and now he's facing another challenge. He failed his first boss challenge, but now leaves no doubt going deep into left center field. That is the first of hopefully many on the year for Randy after hitting 69 dingers last year and going for 70 this year. That immediately turns this game around for Trout, who ends things off with a huge double off the wall in left field, but since we are on second with one out, why not steal third base? Not only does Trout have 99 power, but he's also faster than Elly De La Cruz, as he was 3 for 5 on the day, helping the Reds secure double-digit runs. We swept Baltimore, so Randy and the Reds season is off to a really nice start. We are leading 1-0 against Washington as Trout goes deep into right field, and that is a no-doubter. After hitting 2 home runs against Baltimore, he is now up to 5 on the year. It has only been 4 games, but his goal of hitting 70 home runs is not looking too far off, and now he gets to show off some defense, making a relay throw in time. We're still tied up at 3 apiece as they hit Trout in the thigh, but despite trying to stop Randy, they could not stop the Reds from scoring another run as Trout ends off the day with a double. We secured another victory, staying undefeated at 4-0, and this was another good game for Trout, going 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Along with hitting for power though, we're also going for stolen bases after stealing 42 bags last year. After starting the game with a single and stealing 2 bases, it is 3-2 where Trout goes deep into left center field, watching it leave the yard. That is number 6 on the year in Randy in just 7 games. That will help Cincinnati win another game 4-2, and while it's way too early to assume how the season's gonna go, we're sitting at 7-0 after the first week. If the Reds want a chance of keeping Randy Trout, they've got to keep winning games, and early on in the year, Trout is doing his thing once again, putting up a 500 average and an 1800 plus OPS. With Elly De La Cruz and Trout both playing on pretty affordable deals, this will be Cincinnati's best chance to win a World Series. But looking at their lineup, they have not taken as much advantage of free agency as maybe they should have. They did make a few key trades for guys like Brenton Doyle and Shea Langeliers, and we'll see how much of an impact they make on the season. Amazingly, we are still undefeated after a victory, as Randy Trout added another RBI. We are now 12-0, and I'm not sure how long we can keep this up, although so far we've only played bad teams. Now we're taking on Tampa Bay, where Randy Trout starts out with an Oppo Taco shot. That is number 9 on the year, as he is not letting off the gas. That will bring us to the bottom of the 3rd though, where we're tied up at 1 apiece, and they're threatening our undefeated streak. Despite a double from Trout, we're trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th, but in the bottom of the 7th, we have a 1-run lead where Trout goes deep for the 2nd time of the day. This time, it was a beauty to center field that brings him to 10 bombs on the year. We are still undefeated 12 games into the year, and Trout's 4 for 4 day with 2 bombs was a huge reason. I did not think it could get better than last year, but we're currently on pace to break all of the records that we set last season, along with the home run record. Saying that Randy Trout has had a good start to the year would be an understatement, as he's been phenomenal. We're facing the Royals, who at least on paper are the best team we faced so far, but Trout is 0 for 3. With a 1-run lead, he is facing a dynamic challenge, but after a wild pitch, they intentionally walk us. In the bottom of the 8th, we are tied up at 4 apiece, and with an 15-game hit streak on the line, Randy Trout goes deep. He comes up in the clutch with his 12th home run of the season, and that would help Cincinnati win another game. Despite the heroics from Randy though, KC would go on to sweep us, giving us our first 2 losses of the year. We're starting our next series with a dynamic challenge. Unfortunately though, after getting hit by a pitch, we could not complete it and now steal a base. We are going for 50 steals on the season, taking off for third and getting in there safely. Now in the third, we're tied up at 1 apiece where Randy Trout is able to score the go-ahead run. Even though it's just a single though, it does get us back on first base where we can steal once again. Following the RBI from Trout, the Reds would take an even bigger lead as Trout goes into left center field. That's got some carry to it, leaving the yard. It is 10-2 in the top of the 8th, but Trout is showing no mercy, turning on this one way deep into right field. That one goes 466 feet. That is home run number 14 on the year for Trout in his second multi-home run game. Right after losing 2 games in a row, the Reds get their revenge with an absolute beatdown, and Trout was a big reason for that. We would go on to split the next 2 games, beating them 17-6 in Game 3 to win the series. We are currently 18-3, which is the best record in Major League Baseball, and I'm really curious if we can stay hot. The 18-3 start puts them in a really good spot, but obviously that is not sustainable, and now we're facing our biggest test of the season, going up against Philadelphia. Despite getting on second base to start the game though, we are trailing 2-0 to Philadelphia and are unable to get anything going. We need some momentum as we're facing a dynamic challenge, and we really need to turn this game around, but Trout grounds out to end the inning. It is now 3-0 in the top of the 7th as Trout has the bases loaded. This is where Randy can redeem himself, and that is exactly what he does, launching this one into right field for a huge grand slam. That was 111 off the bat and an absolute no-doubter for his 16th bomb of the year. In just one swing, he has given the Reds the lead, and Philadelphia cannot believe it. Despite Randy's heroics though, Philadelphia was able to rally to an 8-4 victory, but Trout was fantastic once again, securing 4 more RBIs and adding to an already great season. After a tough loss though, we would bounce back with a 10-0 win, so it all comes down to the third and final game. We are starting off the series with a huge nuke into right field as Trout hits a dinger off of Andrew Painter. We knew this would be the series that would prove if Cincinnati's legit, and Randy Trout is leaving no doubt. That is a 2 home run game as it's 7-0, but Trout turns on another one, lining this one off the foul pole. How about number 19 on the year for Randy and 3-1 game against Philadelphia? The Reds scored 3 runs in the first 3 innings, and I don't think there's any way that Philadelphia is coming back from this. It has been a dominant day for the Reds, so why not end it off stealing second base? In the end, Randy went deep 3 times and finished off the day with his 15th stolen base. That was a game to remember as he had 6 RBIs, and after earning 8 tokens from that game, we're gonna cash in a few of his tokens with a few upgrades into contact. That will boost Randy up to 85 overall, and after the historic season that he had last year, there's no signs of any regression whatsoever. With a 490 average and 19 home runs, he is chasing just about every record in the book. I don't think there was any doubt that Trout is once again the MVP favorite and is also leading for the batting title and the Hank Aaron. He is well on pace to win another Triple Crown, and I don't think there's anybody who can stop him. We are still on pace to break the home run record, and for some reason from playing this road to the show, I feel like I'm actually getting better at MLB The Show. Playing this game has been my full-time job the last 3 years, but despite that, I think it's no secret that I'm pretty bad at it. If you're enjoying all the dingers, please drop a like on the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you're a part of the 80% that is still not subbed. Unfortunately though for Trout, he's not always going to get his team wins as we are trailing 9-5. Simming forward though, we would continue our dominant ways, winning the next 2 games. However, now we're entering division play, going up against the Cubs. Now if you remember, they were our biggest threat for the division last year, so we gotta make sure we win this series. Despite having the best record in baseball, that could change at any time, so we really need to keep our momentum going. It is only 1-0 in the top of the 5th as Randy scored the first run and now the second run of the game. Simming to the top of the 6th though, we have a much more competitive game on our hands. Facing a dynamic challenge in the top of the 6th with 2 runners aboard, Trout turns on the first pitch he sees, and that does not go very far. That would end the inning, but he has another chance in the top of the 8th. We cannot afford to leave more runners on base base, but unfortunately that is exactly what we do. Ultimately though, the Reds still won the game as Trout secured 2 RBIs, but if he wants to continue breaking records, he needs to capitalize when it matters. We are trying to bounce back in our next game against Chicago, starting out with another boss challenge. And this one is against their ace, Tarek Skubal. We've got 2 of the best players in the league going head to head, but this time, Randy Trout comes out on top. That is home run number 21 off of the best lefty in the league, and we have a chance to earn even more tokens as we're facing another boss challenge. Very fittingly, we could also use a rally as we're trailing by 1 run, Trout makes soft contact, but is able to beat this out. Once again, his 86 speed rating strikes as he also takes off for second base. Unfortunately though, his team could not score him as we're trailing by 2 runs in the top of the 8th. Despite going deep against Skubal, we might not be getting the win, and Trout failed this challenge, only hitting a single, but does make up for it by stealing second. That would finally lead to a rally for Cincinnati as they're leading by 1 run and Trout nearly goes deep for the second time. In the end though, he did his job as Cincinnati got the victory, and we would go on to not only beat Chicago, but secure a huge sweep. We are 26-5, standing alone as the best team in baseball, and in that series, Trout only continued to extend his lead for the MVP. Now obviously Randy Trout has been really good, but looking at the rest of the team, it is no surprise that we're playing as well as we are. There are so many players with 900 OPS or above, so for the first time of his career, it feels like it's not just Randy providing the offense. Additionally, in the rotation, our big 3 of Andrew Abbott, Hunter Green, and Chase Burns are playing extremely well, along with our number 4 starter, Brandon Williamson. Coming into the season, the big question was whether the Reds would be good enough to keep Randy Trout long term, and early on, it's kind of looking like they might be. We're in a new series against the Giants where Randy gets a meatball and wallops it into right field, but it goes back to the wall and is caught. Trout has made good contact on both of his at-bats, but neither resulted in hits, although now he makes a nice play at first. Now in the 8th inning though, we're trailing by 2 runs. We are 0 for 3 on the day, but do draw a walk against a full count, so while he's still hitless on the day, we are going to take off, stealing second base. In the end though, we could not steal a victory against the Giants, as Trout had one of his worst days of the season. After sweeping Chicago, we get swept for the first time of the year against the Giants, and that is really not good. If we want to keep the number 1 seed in the National League, we need to bounce back, so we're putting 3 points into Randy's contact. That will get him from 85 to 86 overall, but in our next series against the Cardinals, we are already trailing by 2. Those 2 runs would quickly turn into a 6-run deficit, but with 2 on, this is a great chance for Trout to drive in some runs, and he will do exactly that, going the other way. He has been a little more quiet over the past couple series, but he delivers home run number 23 when it matters. Then, just as we've seen throughout the season, Trout started a huge rally as Cincinnati ties the game and Trout gives them the lead. We won the game thanks to scoring 8 unanswered runs, and it was another big game for Trout, going 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs. And while the series didn't start out pretty, we would secure a 3-game sweep. Randy now has 74 hits and 72 RBIs with an OPS of 1564. He is still well on pace to winning his 2nd Triple Crown in a row and even leads the league in stolen bases. Now just keep in mind that we're simulating about 70% of our games, so Randy is playing, well, on and off the screen. Also, on the topic of simulating, I have discovered that there are Road to the Show purists who think that simming is evil. All I'm gonna say about that is if you think I'm gonna play 162 games a year for 15 seasons, then you're absolutely out of your mind. However, if you do want a series where I play every single game, that could be done by the time my future kid graduates from high school. It was a quiet day for Randy against the D-backs, but we still won it 9-3, so despite going 0 for 5, it's good to see that our offense can still put up some runs. Despite winning the first game though, we would drop the next 3 in a row as we're kinda going back and forth between winning a lot and then losing a lot. The Reds are starting to slip, but I do have another trick up my sleeve as I have been stockpiling all of our tokens over the course of the year. We are putting several into contact and clutch, and why not get our speed up to 90? After spending nearly 400 tokens, we have gotten Randy from 86 to 90 overall, and while I could have spent all the tokens at once, I kinda like the slower progression. Our first baseman is now 90 overall as we're looking to rebound with a series win against Texas. Randy has been phenomenal this season, but continuing to improve his contact should only make him better. That is home run number 27 on the year, and even though that was his only hit of the day, the Reds would beat the Rangers. We have alternated between sweeping teams and getting swept, and that pattern continues against the Rangers. We are trying to end this streak by beating the White Sox, and with 2 runners on base, we are facing a dynamic challenge, although Trout flies out to center field. Now, at least for his standards, it does feel like he's starting to cool off, off, as he has not had a monster game in quite a while. It does feel picky to be complaining about his numbers, but the standards are just slightly higher for the best player in the world. With the lofty goals that Randy has set, there's not a lot of room for error, especially when these goals are extremely important. The reason I say this is we're trying to reach 99 overall, and completing these goals will get us very important tokens to help us get there. We would end the cycle by beating Chicago 3-2, but Randy was only 1 for 4 with a single. Thankfully though, we would go on to sweep them, winning 6 games in a row. And after earning some tokens from that series and from our day off, I'm going to spend 1 apiece on contact and clutch. Additionally though, I want to keep upgrading our plate vision, as I do feel like that will make a difference. We are finding our groove at the right time, as we're taking on 3 division opponents in a row. We are starting off with our second series of the year against Chicago, who we swept the last time we played them. We are leading 1-0 in the bottom of the third as Randy Trout hits a single, extending his hit streak to 10 games. Now obviously a hit is a hit, but I do want to start seeing him go deep again, as we are going for that home run record. That is hit well into center field, going all the way back, PCA at the wall, makes the catch. I really thought that was going out, but instead Trout strands 2 runners on base, although now he doubles the other way. That stays fair, off the wall for an RBI. That will secure him another multi-hit game, as now he steals third base. We remain undefeated against Chicago on the year, winning this one 6-1, but now in game number 2, we have a boss challenge against Cade Horton. We are trailing by 2, but with Ellie De La Cruz on first base, Randy Trout ties the game in one swing. That is home run number 30 on the year, as he completes the challenge and reaches 30 bombs before the month of June. There's the dinger we were waiting for, but now he goes high on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, blasting that one deep into right center. Now Chicago had taken a 2-run lead that we're able to cut into, but now in the bottom of the 8th, it is still 4-3. Despite having 2 dingers on the game, he has scored Cincinnati's only runs, and simming to the end, it would not be enough to give them the win. We do not secure the sweep, but simming to the end of the series, we do win it 2-3. And now looking at the stats, Randy's in a really rare spot with just as many RBIs as total hits. That is unbelievable, and definitely explains why his slugging percentage is still .986. That is absolutely absurd, and is by far the best in the entire league, as he continues to be the best at pretty much everything possible. Securing a series victory against the second best team in the division is an extreme confidence boost, as we're going into a series against a much worse Pirates team. Randy starts the day with a double and now takes off for third base, stealing number 24 on the year. Unfortunately though, our team could not score us, and now the Pirates are trying to strike back, as with 2 on, we have to make a relay throw home. This one's gonna be close to the plate and in time. We were able to score a run, but ultimately it did not matter. The Pirates scored 8 unanswered runs, and now we have a dynamic challenge in the 9th. With only 1 hit on the day, we really need to complete this going the other way, and that is just not gonna have the distance. Right after beating the Cubs, we fall to the Pirates, and it was really not a good game for Randy Trout. Now in our next game though, we have a boss challenge against Jared Jones. In order to complete this, we need a double, and after only securing 1 hit in the last game, that is 116 off the bat, but goes straight to the right fielder. We have to settle for a single, but at the very least, Randy can take off for second, stealing another bag. If we're gonna break the home run record though, we do need to start going over the fence, and right on cue, he goes the other way, carrying that one over the wall in left field. He embarrasses Jared Jones and earns himself another challenge. We are leading 3-1 and needing a double to complete the challenge. Trout goes the other way at 99 miles an hour, and while the timing was not the best, he does complete the challenge. Now on second base with 1 out though, we're gonna steal our third base of the game, getting up to 27 on the year. Trout has truly become a do-it-all player, as now he's facing a dynamic challenge in the top of the 6th. This one should be pretty easy though, as he drives a double into right field, keeping it fair to score a run. It has been a high-scoring game, but thanks to a monster performance from Randy Trout, Cincinnati is pulling ahead. He just hit his second dinger of the game, going 5 for 5, and with the Reds leading 13-7 in the 9th, he is getting 1 more at bat, going 6 for 6 on the day. That is the performance that Trout has been waiting on after so many 1 and 2 hit games, as he truly put on a masterclass with 6 hits, 6 RBIs, and 2 dingers. That was a monster game, earning 10 tokens, so we're giving another boost to his contact and clutch, effectively getting him from 90 to 91 overall. Despite losing the first game, we would go on to win that series 2-3, and now we're facing the Cardinals. Randy Trout currently has a 15-game hitting streak, and this little blooper will extend that and also give him another RBI double. As a result, we are leading 2-0 as Trout makes good contact again, but just like his first at bat, it's a deep fly out. He is is 1 for 3 on the day as all of his outs have come on much harder hit balls than the single. Fortunately though, our pitching held it down as we secure a 2-0 win, but after going 1 for 5, Randy is looking for a bounce back performance. After starting the day off with a single, he steals a base, but after failing to score him, the Cardinals took a huge lead. We are getting blown out as Trout secures his 3rd single of the day, but he failed to drive in a run as the Reds got beat by 10. That means this next game will decide the series, and Randy Trout gets the first runs on the board in the top of the 6th. He made up for his lack of RBIs with a 2-run shot, but unfortunately for Cincinnati, those were their only 2 runs of the day as they lost 3-2. At the start of June though, we're still in pretty good shape at 41-15, which is 12.5 games in front of Chicago. Despite slipping a little bit, we still have the best record in baseball, although the Athletics are just 1 game behind us. Considering that we're about 1/3 through the season, Randy Trout is on a killer pace. He is sitting at 34 home runs and 102 RBIs with a 1457 OPS. It is hard to imagine him playing much better than this, but at the start of the month, we are pushing the limits, putting more points into his contact and his clutch. That will boost him from 91 up to 92 overall, and I'm wondering if he can get to 99. Right when I thought the division gauntlet was over though, we are taking on Milwaukee at the start of June. After starting the game with a huge double against the wall, Randy Trout goes into the gap in left center field, watching it carry for another home run. That is a great way to start off the month as he gets number 35 on the year, but we are still trailing by 2 runs in the 5th as Randy goes the other way again for another double. Trout has had a really good game, but ultimately it's not going to make a difference in this game as we take the loss, but he does end the game off with his 31st steal. We have been losing a lot more games lately despite Randy still playing at a high level, so even though their star has a 20-game hit streak and leads the league in pretty much everything, the Reds are struggling. We just got swept by the last place team in our division, so we no longer have the best record in baseball, but we are rewarding Trout for his great performance. The Reds have lost 5 games in a row at the start of June, and Randy Trout's career is starting to emulate Mike's. Now in this universe, the Angels no longer have Mike Trout, but their fans know all too well what this means. While we currently have the best record in the National League, there's a lot of time for us to fall apart. Thankfully though, our offense is looking to end the losing streak strong as Trout goes deep for the 2nd time today, giving us double-digit runs. However, despite our incredible performance, the Angels have rallied back to tie the game. It truly feels like we're allergic to winning as we're in extra innings looking to drive in the winning run. Elly De La Cruz is the runner, so it's not going to take much to score him, but that's a great play. They shut us down, but fortunately we do secure the victory. It was certainly not pretty, but we snap our losing streak as Trout went absolutely bananas, and after that we would take 2 out of 3. Thanks to a 2-home run performance, we just earned a whole lot of tokens from that series that we're reinvesting into his stats. That will get him up to 93 overall before the All-Star break, but why not go a step further, giving our hitting coach a call to get double tokens. We are activating double tokens going into a big-time series against the Pirates where we start out with an RBI. Because our double points are in power, an RBI single's not going to get us much, but this home run certainly will. That is number 41 on the year for Randy Trout, as he is 3 for 4 on the day and make that 4 for 5 with home run number 42. That solo shot just iced the game for Cincinnati, and Randy just earned more tokens than he knows what to do with. He single-handedly won that game for the Reds, but now we're facing one of our biggest challenges of the season, going up against Paul Skeens, but that's a double into the left center gap. That extends Randy's hit streak to 27 games and gives his team the lead. We are leading by 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, but all Randy needs to do is hit a single and he is able to complete it easily. He is now on first base with nobody out, so why not go ahead and steal his 35th bag of the year? He is still leading the league in steals along with home runs as that is crushed into right field 454 feet. He just cracked Paul Skeens and takes a back shot, but at least getting on first means he can steal a couple more bases. Despite his performance though, the Pirates are leading 6-5. With Elly De La Cruz on second, we need to deliver, and that is crushed into center field, going all the way back and over the fence for the go-ahead and walk-off home run. That is a signature shot for Randy's 2nd of the day, and they are celebrating at home plate. What a game for Randy, going 4 for 4 with 2 dingers and 4 RBIs. He just took full advantage of double tokens, so we are allocating accordingly, getting Trout from 93 up to 94 overall. Not only are we well on pace to complete our season goals, but all of these are not not only going to give us a lot of tokens, but also increase our Hall of Fame score. That is extremely important as the tokens will help us get to 99 overall, but at the end of the day, we're trying to go to Cooperstown. There's never been an MLB hitter quite like Randy Trout, as even after his success last season, his goals are sky high. Along with being an elite contact and power hitter though, he also steals bases, which is honestly unheard of. Now he's facing a dynamic challenge against the Nationals. This is a big time RBI chance with 2 runners on base, but unfortunately we get a bit underneath it. Fortunately though, Cincinnati would win 7-3, and Randy secured another multi-hit game. Now these multi-hit games are going to be extremely important because maybe our hardest goal of the season will be breaking the hit record again. Not only do we have to increase it though, but we need 300 hits on the year to increase our Hall of Fame score. After slipping a little bit, the Reds are back on top of the baseball world, and Randy Trout is a huge reason for that. Despite going deep in this game against the Guardians, they absolutely crushed us 17-3. Now every team's going to have a bad game from time to time, so I'm not panicking just yet, but after the meltdown that we had in the playoffs last year, we really need to get these games out of our system. There's no way that Randy Trout signs an extension unless he thinks the Reds can win, because he could break every MLB record in the world, but nothing can compare to the feeling of winning a ring. Not only is he hitting for power, but he's also a menace on the bases, continuing to steal bases as he swipes bag number 40. However, despite getting on third base twice, we are losing this game by 2 runs. We are trying not to take a series loss as Randy does steal his third base of the day, but again, his team fails to score him. Facing a challenge in the bottom of the 6th, he's gonna have to do this himself, and he goes way deep into left center field, watching that one go to the upper deck. That is home run number 48 for Trout, and we're not even to the break yet. Thanks to a ridiculous 3-double, 1 home run performance, we secure the victory, as Randy single-handedly won that game. That would lead to another series sweep, as we've still only lost 1 game in our last 10. After last season, I think everybody knew that Randy Trout was on a special trajectory, but I never expected a start like this. He has been phenomenal, as now in a series against the White Sox, he gets a hold of this one into left center field, and I thought that was another dinger. Unfortunately though, it could not drop, and we are tied up at 2 apiece in the 8th inning. In the end, we would secure the victory, but it was not a very good game for Randy, as he was 1 for 4 with a single. Now on the bright side, we still win the series, but we're going to need the Reds to be at their best, as we're going into series against the Dodgers and then the Phillies. If we want to make it to the World Series, we will very likely have to play the Dodgers at some point along the way. That being said, this is a big time series as we're currently tied at 0 apiece. However, after a single from Trout, the Reds would surge with 4 runs to beat the Dodgers. Even then though, it was not Trout's best performance as he only went 1 for 4 with a single. Trout is playing very similarly in the next game as we're trailing 6-1, although he's going to end things off blazing this one 420 feet. Despite losing the game, he did add another home run, so we're going into game 3 with a little more confidence, looking to steal this series away. Trout has started the game off with another single before stealing his 45th base on the year. And in the bottom of the 5th, it is a 3-run game as we had no business swinging at that pitch, but get runners at the corners. That was not exactly how we drew it up, but the results were still very satisfactory as Sal Stewart now scores everybody. Our offense just exploded all over them, winning 17-5, and while Randy Trout was 3 for 5, he did not drive in a run. Now going into the final game of the 4-game series, we are starting with a boss challenge against none other than Ohtani. This would be a great time for a home run, but I think we're going to try and go for the double. It is very important that we start a rally as the Dodgers have already scored a run, and this will complete the challenge. After getting to second, Trout is going to do one of the things that he does best, taking off and swiping third. Simming to our next appearance though, we're facing another boss challenge against Ohtani, and we have a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 3rd. We are trying to go 2 for 2 on challenges, but Ohtani hits us in the cheeks, so we fail this one, but of course, because it's Ohtani, we're getting another shot. The game gives Ohtani more challenges than pretty much anybody else, but this time, Trout grounds out to 3rd. That is key as simming to the bottom of the 7th, we are tied up at 3 apiece. The game clearly knows how important this series is as we're facing our 4th boss challenge of the day. While we do fail the challenge though, we get on first base and now put ourselves in scoring position. We did our best to help our team rally, but in the end, they secured the win, despite another solid performance from Trout where he went 2 for 3 with a double and a single. I cannot complain about splitting a series against a team like the Dodgers, as Trout did have a really nice performance and we're going to upgrade his stats even further. After splitting with the Dodgers though, we're going up against another good team, the Phillies. We're trailing by 2 runs, facing a dynamic challenge where Randy delivers with a deep drive into right center field, and that is gone. That is number 51 on the year for Randy Randy, and keep in mind, we have not even reached the All-Star break, and he would be the difference in this 7-5 victory. We are starting the next game with a boss challenge against George Kirby. We are working the count, but ultimately draw a walk, as Furious George did not give us anything, and now we're taking off for second. Unfortunately though, he would only go 1 for 3 the rest of the game, as we lost that game and the series to the Phillies. We are 4 series away from the All-Star break, where Trout starts out strong with a single. We have taken a 2-0 lead, but Randy is not done yet, turning on this pitch deep into right field, and right when it felt like he needed a dinger, he delivers with a huge one. It is 3-1 in the top of the 7th, as here is a dynamic challenge. He already has a multi-hit game under his belt, but now he lines it straight to left field, and now with a tie game in the 9th, he needs to deliver. With 2 runners on base, all he has to do is score one of them, and that is exactly what he does, slapping a single into left field and giving his team the late lead. Then after that, we would score 3 more runs, beating the Mets. After splitting a series against the Dodgers and losing one to the Phillies, we rally right back with a sweep. We're going into our next series against Milwaukee as Trout has a 15-game hitting streak. We would rally to take a 4-0 lead, as here is a boss challenge. We are facing a full count, but Trout will not get the chance to complete the challenge. After loading the bases with a walk though, they would rally to 11 runs. It is 12-1 in the top of the 4th, and with the bases loaded, Randy Trout clears them with a 3 RBI double. Now that we're on second though, why not go for steal number 50 on the year, sliding in safely. We are winning 20-1 in the top of the 7th as Trout drives this deep, digging out a low fastball, and that is a grand salami to cap this game off. This has been one of the best performances of his season, as that is home run number 54 on the year. I cannot believe that it's 26-2, but even then, we are still not done, ending this day off with a single. After another stolen base, they would score him, so the Reds win 27-2. That was a masterclass of a 4 for 6 day with a home run, 2 singles, and 7 RBIs. As you would expect in a 27-2 victory, not only Trout, but the entire offense was on fire, with everybody contributing to the final score. With Trout leading the charge though, we're putting more upgrades into all of his stats, getting him up to 95 overall before the break. Now we're going into a 4-game series against the Cardinals, starting out with a moonshot. That is number 55 on the year for Randy, and the Reds offense has been on fire as it is 9-2 in the bottom of the 8th. After another single from Trout, the offense would score even more, ending this one 13-2, as he went 3 for 5 with a home run and 2 singles. We are going into our final series before the All-Star break, going up against the Mets once again. We start out taking a 3-0 lead, and now with the bases loaded, we have a dynamic challenge. We have a chance to put this game out of reach, but they're not giving us anything. It did work out in our favor regardless, as it is 11-2, and we score another run. I do not know where this offense has come from, but we have absolutely been raking, and now Trout is going to add another double. That was a fantastic way to go into the break, as we win 13-4, and Randy went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. We're going into the break with a 69-28 record, which is in fact the best in baseball. It has been an absolute masterclass for Randy Trout, who currently has 57 home runs and 157 RBIs. He is leading the league in almost every offensive category, including stolen bases, which is also not even close. Now I do feel bad for Shohei Ohtani, because he's having a really good year, and if Randy Trout didn't exist, he would be the no doubt MVP frontrunner. Unfortunately for him though, Shohei had his time in the sun, and now it's the era of Randy Trout. With 65 games to go, he is well on pace to complete all of his season goals, but before we can get into the second half, we do have some unfinished business in the home run derby. Now if you remember last year, we were a first round exit, so this season we're looking for revenge. You would think that a guy with 57 bombs before the break would crush the derby, but so far in Trout's career, it has been quite the opposite. After being a surprise first round exit last year, he is swinging for the fences early and often, already at 4 home runs. With a minute 40 left, he is at 7 home runs, and now make that 8, as he continues to go deep, and he shows that he's going to be a problem in the derby. He has not even called a timeout yet, but he's already at double-digit bombs, and he's showing no signs of slowing down, continuing to hit no-doubters. He is making a statement with 17 homers in regulation, and now moving on to the bonus round, he has 4 outs to hit even more. He just hit 23 in the first round, and the top 4 will advance to round 2. Simming forward, he is in the next round, going up against Shohei Ohtani, who only secured 10 dingers. This should be a walk in the park for Trout, as that one is absolutely crushed to the video board, carrying all the way back 442 feet. Randy is putting on an absolute show, as there's 45 seconds left, and he is already at 8 home runs. Another line drive shot would make it 9, and now now he's going for 10 before even calling a timeout, and he does not have to use it. He swings on that one, going deep into left center field, and moves on to the next round. We have advanced to the finals, going up against Brandon Lowe. Trout is the guy to beat as he launches this one deep into center field, going 459. It is hard to imagine Brandon Lowe beating him, but because he is going last, we want to make sure that we put ourselves in position to win. Trout takes a timeout with 9 home runs on the board, and now he's going to go deep again and close out the round with a deep shot into right. That will be number 11. That will send him into the bonus round where he launches number 12 immediately. Just like always, he has 4 outs to hit as many dingers as he can, and this is where he can do some damage. He has gone deep 15 times without a single out and make that 16. He would go deep 20 times, putting Brandon Lowe on notice. He's going to need 21 to win, but he starts out keeping that one on the ground for a line drive shot and now goes foul into right. All due respect to Brandon Lowe, but I just don't think he's going to be that dude, as I'm surprised he's even here in the home run derby. Now, right as I say that, he is getting into a bit of a groove with 4 home runs in a row, but at the rate he's going, he's going to need 14 home runs in the bonus round to even have a chance to win this one, as that goes deep into right field, staying fair. Brandon Lowe is in the bonus round, and immediately he goes deep into right field, so there might be trouble as he needs just 11 to win. However, immediately after his next swing, he would use his first out, although he follows up going deep into right field for number 11. Unfortunately for Lowe though, it does feel like he's running out of steam as that has popped up for out number 3. In the end, he was unable to defeat Randy Trout, who became the home run derby champion after getting eliminated in the first round last year. He just accomplished one of the only feats that he did not complete last year, and that adds on to a historic season. However, while Randy Trout does deserve a ton of credit, I also got to give a huge shout out to the rest of our offense as we have several key players. Specifically, in the final year before free agency, Elly De La Cruz is putting together one of the best years of his career. He has been really solid along with Sal Stewart, who was once our competition at first base. Now obviously, those days are way behind him, but it does seem that Sal is set in pretty nicely as our DH. Those two guys have been really good, but after that, our offense just has a lot of really solid contributors like Shea Langoliers, Tristan Casas, and players like Brett Beatty, who I didn't even realize were on the team. We are ranked first in almost every offensive category, and I know that Randy Trout is a huge reason for this, but also it does seem that the Reds put a pretty solid team around Randy. We are starting the second half with a huge challenge against the Dodgers, and there's even more at stake because we upgraded to double tokens right before this series, and there's a moonshot. In the first game out of the break, he starts out with number 58, and we're leading 3-2 in the top of the 6th. There's nobody out, so we're trying to start a rally as that is smoked into right center field, and with 90 speed, Trout is going to be able to stretch that into 2. Then, as we've seen with Randy throughout the season, that double would quickly turn into a triple with a stolen base. Randy started the second half strong with a home run and a double. We take the first game, but we have double tokens for the rest of the series, so we need to capitalize. Unfortunately though, he hit into a double play and we're trailing by 10 runs, but at least Trout's able to get one of them back. It is 10-2 in the top of the 8th, and Trout is going to do the same thing, deja vu going into right center field for number 60. Hitting 60 home runs is absolutely absurd, but considering it's not even August yet, I think he's got a good shot at the record. We would start a rally, but the Dodgers still hand us a dose of reality, but it was another big day for Randy Trout. Despite taking the loss, Trout had a big time day with double tokens activated, and now he's trying to give the Reds the series win against the Dodgers, starting this one out with a huge double into left center. Thankfully, we are cooking with a 5-run lead, and now Trout goes into right center field, securing his second double in a row. While the Dodgers mounted a rally, Cincinnati would hold on to win the game, so after splitting a series against the Dodgers before, they win this one. And because double tokens were activated the entire time, we just earned a mother load that we're reinvesting into several stats. It has been a very impressive season of growth for Randy, going from 84 to 96 overall in just about 4 months. There's a very good chance for Trout to reach 99 overall before the end of the year, and he extends his hit streak to 29 against Seattle. However, while we are 3 overall away from reaching 99, those last 3 points are going to be extremely difficult to get. With Randy's attributes getting more and more expensive, those last few overall points are going to be an absolute grind, although this dinger does help. Cincinnati beat Seattle 4-0 right after a series win against the Dodgers, and now simming the rest of the series, we took it 2-1. Now we're going into division play against the Pirates, and Randy Trout will leave the yard again, sending this deep into left center field. He leaves the yard again and now goes deep for the second time of the game. And with 56 games left in the year, we've nearly completed all of our goals already. After winning another series against the Pirates, we're putting the remaining tokens we have into Trout's fielding, officially getting him to 97 overall. With 2 months before the end of the season, he is well on pace to get there, as he's going to start earning a lot more tokens as soon as he completes his season goals. We are trailing by 1 run to Milwaukee as Trout goes deep to center field, and that will complete his season RBI goal. It is only the start of August, but he's already gotten there, and he's also close to his home run goal as well. With that, we would rally to take the lead, but now they're refusing to throw anything our way. In the end though, it didn't make a difference as we secured a 5-2 victory over the Brewers. We won the series, and Trout also secured even more bonus tokens to go into his stats. He is now at 65 home runs and 177 RBIs, giving him a slugging percentage over 1,000. He is still 97 overall, but if he can complete these final few goals, that will definitely change. Looking at the rewards, all of these goals give 30 tokens when completed, so it shouldn't be long before Randy Trout passes up Elly De La Cruz. With the way that Trout has been playing, I am very curious to see what his stats can look like, because he is currently on pace for about 90 home runs, stealing another base. Aside from that single though, this has been an uneventful day against Boston, although he does get another one, driving in a run in the process. In the end, Cincinnati would secure the victory, and Trout is continuing his road to 99 overall against the San Diego Padres. Along with that though, he's also going for the home run record as he is 6 away from 72. After failing to go deep against the Red Sox though, he's keeping everything on the ground against San Diego. We are leading by 1 run in the bottom of the 7th as Trout is facing a challenge. With 2 runners on, we're looking for an RBI, and while that's not going to be the dinger we were looking for, he does manage to drive in 1. He fails the challenge, but the Reds still secure the victory, and Trout still had a pretty good day, going 3 for 4 with 3 singles. He may have failed to hit 67 home runs, but a 3-hit day will certainly help his race for the hit record. It is time for a new series against Atlanta, where Trout is still chasing the elusive number 67. We are going up against the team that embarrassed us in the playoffs, beating them in the first game. Despite the victory though, Randy went 0 for 4 for the first time in a while, and he is 0 for 3 to start game number 2. He has disappeared in a series that means so much to the Cincinnati team as he finally gets on base, but Atlanta would ultimately win. This 3-game series is all going to come down to this as Randy drives this deep into left center field, and that is one way to avoid a slump. He goes deep in the first inning for big 6-7, giving the Reds the lead as Randy draws a walk. Despite getting 2 runners on base though, that would not lead to anything as Atlanta takes the lead. Now I really thought this would be the end, but simulating to the end of the game, the Reds are celebrating an 8-4 victory. We win the series against Atlanta, but we're also taking them on towards the end of the month. The game is really testing us against the team that beat us in the playoffs, and considering that they're leading the NL East, there's a good chance that we'll see them again. Despite losing to them in the playoffs last year though, I'm feeling a lot better about our chances this year for a number of reasons. As unlike last year, we've seen a lot more players than just Randy step up. We are going up against Milwaukee where Trout's cheeks drove in a run, and while that is hilarious, we got robbed of a grand slam. However, now in the top of the 10th, we have a chance to redeem ourselves as the bases are loaded in extra innings for Trout, who does indeed go deep to center field. That is home run number 68 on the year for Randy, and he is 2 away from his season goal of 70. That was a 10-5 victory for Cincinnati, erasing the Brewers' comeback, and Cincinnati would win that series 2-1 as Randy went deep once again. That could set him up for number 70 against the Pirates, and while he fails to go deep, the Reds do get the win. Trout is looking for redemption after going 0 for 4 while trying to swing for the fences, and Bubba Chandler just gave him a souvenir. That one was hung right over the plate, and Randy was not going to resist launching that right over the right field fence. That is number 70 on the year as he breaks his single season goal, but now he's going for the record. The number to beat is 73, and at the rate he's going, Trout should be able to get that by the end of the month. Cincinnati won another game against the Pirates 5-0, and simming forward, he would hit another dinger. Looking at his season goals, he is 5 runs and 44 hits away from completing the rest of his challenges, but after completing his home run goals, we're going to put some more points into his contact and vision, along with his fielding and his plate discipline to get him to 98 overall. That is a huge boost for Randy Trout as he is 1 away from the magic number. Randy Trout has a chance to break the home run record and get to 99 overall at the same time, time as we're taking on Atlanta. We won a series against them just over a week ago, so we're trying to prove that we can do it again. We are leading 3-2 in the top of the 7th, where Randy launches this one deep into right center field. That's not going to leave the yard, but will be a double off the wall. His team would score him once again, but now with a 1-run lead in the top of the 8th, he keeps this fair down the third base line to clear the bases with a double. We have once again defeated the Atlanta Braves, winning this game 7-4, and simming the rest of the series, we secure the sweep and Randy ties the home run record. We are one dinger away from rightfully knocking Barry Bonds out of the record books as Trout starts this one off with a double. We will be playing every single game until we break the record as the Yankees destroy us, but it should only be a matter of time before the best power hitter in league history goes deep. This one's hit well into left field, but will not leave the yard. Randy settles for a double. That was extremely close to leaving the yard, but just didn't have enough carry as he doubles again. And even though the Reds are losing this game, all eyes are on Randy Trout trying to make history. We just got swept by New York as Trout did not homer, although this does set up a very interesting opportunity. The Chicago Cubs have been the biggest rival of Randy Trout's career, as they were already a pretty good team that got even better by signing Tarek Skubal. That being said, Randy wants nothing more than to hit the go-ahead blast off of him, but unfortunately I swing at some really bad pitches, although we make up for it going deep against Javier Assad, and there's the record. Ring him up, number 74 for Randy Trout, and that was an absolute missile. The whole team is coming out to celebrate as this is a huge moment for their 25-year-old phenom, and I think everybody at home plate is hoping that he will stay in Cincinnati for a very long time. Put Trout in the Hall of Fame. He's only 25 years old, but I absolutely agree. I don't care what anybody says, I think that makes him a lock for Cooperstown as he did it without juicing, unlike big ol' Barry Bonds. We have completed nearly all of our season goals, and now with over 100 tokens to spend, we also get the big one, watching Randy Trout go from 98 to 99 overall. This has been a long time coming as he has finally reached his potential and sits at the top with Elly De La Cruz. Additionally though, with several more goals left on the season, his stats are only gonna get better. With the personal goals out of the way though, there is one demon that Randy Trout has still not taken down through high school, college, and really any level. We got embarrassed in the playoffs by Atlanta last year, and considering that we have the best record in the league, I would say that most betting odds are on the Reds to win the World Series. Simming out the rest of the year, the Reds would finish with the best record in baseball, so they're going back to the playoffs after an absolutely absurd season from Randy Trout. He finishes off with a .439 average, 220 RBIs, and 76 home runs. Just to put into perspective how insane this was, if we sort by hits, the player in second place, Elly De La Cruz, had fewer hits than he had RBIs. That is absolutely absurd as Randy definitely earned his flowers this year, winning the Triple Crown without a shadow of a doubt. Not only that though, but he also led the MLB in stolen bases, along with batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and basically every other metric in the book. There was nobody slowing down Randy this year as he put up an 18 wins above replacement, which was nearly 7 points higher than Lindor, who came in second. Now just in case you're new to MLB, positional value does have a lot to do with WAR, so just considering the fact that a first baseman is leading the league, I think that tells you all you need to know. The next closest first baseman was way down the list at 6.1, so Randy was just a different breed. We are gearing up for the playoffs, spending his remaining tokens across several different stats, and while we could upgrade more fielding, I think I want to focus the rest on his plate discipline. Randy Trout has provided an insane amount of value to this team, but now the big question is, can they finish strong and win a World Series? Checking out the roster, I do gotta give the Reds a lot of credit for trying to build a squad around Trout, but after getting embarrassed in the playoffs last year, they cannot afford another first round exit. It is World Series or bust for Cincinnati as they're going up against a team they're very familiar with. We're off to a good start with a 1-0 lead that Randy will turn into a 2-0 lead. He drives in a run, but honestly, just because this is the playoffs, why not increase the difficulty to Legend? I'm gonna tell you guys right now that I have never played on this difficulty, so this might be interesting. After stealing a base, our team would rally with 2 runs, but now Channel Legend Gavin Sheets gets one back for the Cubs. Chicago is finally on the board, but now Randy Trout is gonna crush all of their hopes and dreams. It is now 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th against our biggest rival, and Randy Trout has one more treat for the ride home. We just beat them 8-1, and I don't remember if we got swept last year, but that might be Randy's first playoff victory. I also forgot to to show you guys the MVP race, so I'm going to do that real quick as Randy Trout was the obvious victor, also winning the batting title and the Hank Aaron Award. Obviously, winning all these awards was a given, but Randy earned a bunch of tokens after the fact that I'm investing back into his contact. I'm feeling pretty good, but now we're facing Tarek Skubal. That is definitely scary, but after hitting 2 dingers in my first game on Legend, Trout almost goes deep for a third time. We were so close to completing the boss challenge as Chicago is leading 3-1 in the 3rd inning. Now in the bottom of the 8th, it is 4-1 as this offense has not done anything. Chicago proves that starting their ace in Game 2 was absolutely the right move, as we were held to 2 hits on the game. That will set up a very important Game 3 that we're starting out with a dynamic challenge, as Trout is looking to get over his playoff curse, launching this one into center field, and that is his 3rd dinger of the postseason. Believe it or not though, right after that, Chicago would rally back to make it 3-1. All we can do now is simulate to the end of the game where we are celebrating. I was really not expecting that, but the Reds came out of nowhere to win it 4-3, finally giving Trout some playoff run support. We once again proved that this team is very different than last year's, as we found a way to win some playoff games and are now just 1 win away from moving on to the next round. So far though, this game is off to a slow start as it's 0-0 in the 3rd inning, and it will remain scoreless in the top of the 6th where Trout drills this one 101 miles an hour, but did get slightly underneath it. Thankfully though, that would advance a runner to 3rd who scores shortly after, although Chicago rallies right back. And not only did they tie the game, but they took a 6-1 lead. I don't know where any of those runs came from, but I'm not exactly convinced that Randy Trout is not cursed in the playoffs. We had this team's number at every twist and turn during the regular season, but it all comes down to Game 5 against this guy. As you can imagine, I am not feeling good about this as Skubal held us to 2 hits the last time we played him. We failed the first boss challenge only to get taunted with another, and this one is a big deal. There are 2 runners on board, and once again, I can't even blame that on Trout. I just got way underneath it. That is unfortunate, but it would not have mattered anyways, as our team managed to score 1 of those runs before Chicago added 6 of their own. Things are not looking good in the bottom of the 6th, but I still want to believe as Trout steals second base. But as you can see, that would only make it worse for us, as it is 11-1, and this bomb to left field is simply an FU to Chicago. We literally won every single series against them during the regular season, but just choked in the playoffs, and I really don't understand what the Krabby Patty formula is. Randy Trout had an insane season, but even he wouldn't have been enough to beat this team. But considering that we've lost the NLDS 2 years in a row now, and he's entering his final year before free agency, he's got a very big decision to make. With fellow star player Elly De La Cruz hitting free agency, it might be time for this duo to split up away from Cincinnati, allowing them to do a proper rebuild. Randy Trout has a big decision to make as he could either play out his last year in Cincinnati or demand a trade, allowing the Reds to get some extra prospects in return. That will be the big decision he makes this offseason, and I'm not sure which direction he's gonna go. Comment down below if you think Randy should get traded or not, and leave your reasonings why and maybe a team that he should go to. Additionally, if you want to see the next video, please drop a like, and if we hit 1200, I will drop the next episode as soon as I possibly can. Thank you for watching, and click right here while you're waiting to see more of my content.